And Dana, I had a question for you around Joe Rogan. There's been a lot of controversy with him.
First off, let me take this one. Hold up. I'm black. I can take this one. Look.
Okay. What were?
No. There's a lot of cunts in this game. There's a lot of snakes in this game. I've been in this fight game since 2008. And Joe Rogan is one of the nicest, coolest, humble I've had the pleasure of working with. Understand that? And you know, it's just the noise, man. You know what they're trying to do. You can't control the man, and he's got the biggest platform in the world right now. So that's my nigga, Joe Rogan. Noise.
Going off that, what words of advice would you give to Joe Rogan to shut out all the noise around him?
Do what I said. Noise. Just keep doing you, Joe. Have some mushrooms. Keep doing you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, so there you have it. That is Israel Adesanya. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Coming to the defense of his friend Joe Rogan. And you love to see it, okay? Are you guys picking up the pattern of what's going on here? Yesterday, I did a video about Charlemagne the God coming to Joe Rogan's defense, okay? And then you have this UFC fighter, Israel Adesanya, coming to Joe Rogan's defense. And we're going to talk about a rapper, T-Pain, who also is coming to Joe Rogan's defense as well. I hope you guys are seeing a pattern here in terms of who's upset about Joe Rogan's use of the N-word and who is not. It is certainly not black men, right? It seems that most black men are like, you know, that's my guy, right? That's my guy. Or put it this way, what Israel said, right? Which is probably what I would have said as well too, if I was in his position, okay? I would have said the same exact thing, okay? Because, yeah, Joe Rogan's that guy, right? He's that guy. Just replace guy with the N-word, right? Use your imagination. But I'm not necessarily sure about the part when it comes to the mushrooms. I'm not necessarily sure exactly what Israel's getting at there. Maybe he's talking about shrooms, right? The psychedelics, okay? Maybe he's saying do some shrooms. I'm not sure how that helps, right? But yeah, that is his suggestion. We'll just move on past that. But the point of this video is to talk about rapper T-Pain, who has come out and defended Joe Rogan as well too, and who is making some excellent points about why Joe Rogan should not be censored and what this ultimately leads to, okay? But before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know, if you like what I do, if you like my channel, and you want to support, the way to do so is with the links in the description below. You can support the PayPal, you can support the Patreon, you can support the merch. There are multiple ways to support my channel if you would like to do so. So with that being said, let's get into the latest entertainer, who happens to be a black man, coming out and defending Joe Rogan, right? It is rapper T-Pain, right, who says if Spotify censors Joe Rogan, then they got to take off all the derogatory ish that we say, right? Basically what he's saying is that it's a slippery slope, right? And rappers say things that are effed up, okay, that you can argue should probably be censored. And if they censor that guy, then I'll probably be censored, okay? So this guy is smart enough to realize the threat of censorship to the, you know, entertainment industry as a whole, which is the argument that I've been making and people that are forward-thinking people have been making, okay? But the people that seem to be the most upset about Joe Rogan saying the N-word, again, is not necessarily black men, the people that apparently should be the most offended by it, but it seems to be so-called women of color, particularly black women, and white liberals. They seem to be the ones that are most upset. But anyways, let's read about T-Pain and his opinion on this, because I think he makes some very, very, very good points here. Rapper T-Pain spoke about the Spotify controversy involving Joe Rogan this week, pointing out the far-reaching but logical consequences if Spotify remove Rogan from its streaming platform. T-Pain, whose real name is Fahim Rashim Namj, told TMZ that censoring Joe Rogan would initiate a negative domino effect, necessitating the removal of rap music from Spotify. In fact, T-Pain said that if Spotify actually cared about policing the language that content creators stream on its platform, then, quote, they take off all the ish we talk about, killing each other and all that ish. Ding, 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 ding. Dude is 100% spot on. If these big companies actually really cared about policing language, right, and the consequences of language, how in the world is rap music acceptable, right? How in the world is music where people routinely use the N-word and talk about killing and stealing and robbing each other, right? Things that, in my opinion, you could argue have a detrimental effect in the black community. How in the world is this allowed? Okay, but Joe Rogan using the N-word in the context of quoting somebody else is not, right? Again, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, okay? The only way this makes sense is if, well, Spotify doesn't really care about the principle. What they really care about is the money. They only care because people are outraged about what Joe Rogan said, but nobody's outraged about what is in rap music. When, again, the people that are outraged about what Joe Rogan said, if they were principled in their stance, they should be outraged about rap music. Now, that's not to say that rap music should be censored, right? Or that it should be taken down or anything like that. No. But what is being pointed out here is that, again, it's a slippery slope. If you want to start with Joe Rogan, then how far can this go? Because eventually, at some point, somebody can make the argument that, hey, I'm triggered by rap music. I'm triggered by drill rap, right? I'm triggered by these dudes talking about killing and stealing and robbing each other. Okay, that needs to be censored, right? That needs to be censored. Okay? And again, T-Pain, who's in that industry, understands that cancel culture could possibly come for him, right? Again, I love when people understand the far-reaching consequences of this stuff, okay? I love it. Because the woke mob, they don't. They really don't. Quote, if they take off the derogatory terms for African Americans, they got to take off all derogatory-ish that we say. T-Pain said they got to take everything off. Correct, right? Correct. They can't just censor Joe Rogan and be like, well, that's good. Now let me get back to my mother effing killing album. You know what I'm saying. If they're going to take it off, they got to take it all off, right? Facts. That's what they would do if there was principle. Now, I believe that Joe Rogan and Spotify, they have removed all the episodes of Joe Rogan using the N-word, right? So that is an explanation for episodes that are being taken off of Spotify that are actively being deleted, right? They're the episodes where Joe Rogan is using the N-word, okay? So apparently, it's not necessarily the COVID misinformation stuff that Spotify is particularly concerned about. That's not what got them to act. Joe Rogan using the N-word is what got them to act, okay? And I think that this is probably because of the threat that came from the black artists, particularly the black female artists. I don't think any black males care, right? I think that has become very clear at this point. No black males care about this, okay? But the black female artists that care about this, that got their panties in a bunch over this, are threatening to boycott Spotify, okay? And I think that's what really got them, okay? Because if, you know, all these people start pulling off their music from Spotify, then that's going to hurt them, okay? Quote, but they don't want that. Nobody wants that, the rapper said. They just want what's making them uncomfortable right now taken off. You got to keep that same energy with everything, not just the ish that's making you uncomfortable right now. That's the harsh truth. Early in the interview, T-Pain pointed out that videos of Rogan using the N-word existed on the internet for years, but only became a problem after he secured a $100 million contract with Spotify to exclusively host the Joe Rogan Experience. Quote, let's keep in mind, he's been saying all this before he got 100 million. T-Pain noted, everybody knew that ish was happening. It wasn't like he was a small podcaster before all this ish. All that ish was public knowledge. Well, it's a grift, T-Pain. That's what it is. It's a grift. Again, India Irie literally told people, oh yeah, I just want to get paid, right? Take Joe Rogan off or pay me, right? Which is basically her saying, I really don't care about Joe Rogan saying the N-word. I just want to get paid. That's really what she's saying. Okay, and she literally used that opportunity, right, of Joe Rogan using the N-word to basically try to get paid, okay, to try to shake down Spotify, and Spotify did it, right, because they announced that they're investing $100 million in, I guess, you know, artists of color or whatever they want to call it, okay? Again, that's what's happening here. It's a shakedown. These people don't really care about Joe Rogan using the N-word. It's about money. All this is about money. Right? Spotify doesn't care. The black artists don't care. The mainstream media really doesn't care. All they care about is money. And also, I mean, it's also about controlling the narrative too when it comes to the COVID stuff. But again, that also comes down to money because these people are bought and sold by Big Pharma. So yeah, everything really comes down to money. That's what it comes down to. Despite continued attempts to cancel Rogan, Spotify CEO Daniel Ek has said the company will continue hosting Rogan's podcast. I want to make one point very clear. I do not believe that silencing Joe is the answer, Elk said in a statement to Spotify employees on Sunday. We should have clear lines around content and take action when they are crossed, but canceling voices is a slippery slope. Looking at the issue more broadly, it's critical thinking and open debate that powers real and necessary progress, he explained. Rogan also has apologized for his use of the N-word. Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't have took down his podcast of him using the N-word. They shouldn't have took it down. They shouldn't have took it down because nobody is actually really offended by it, right? Nobody's actually really offended by it. The only people that act like they're offended by it, again, are the white liberals and the non-male people of color, okay? Those are the only people that are offended by it. Again, ain't it crazy how I played a video of, what's that woman? Black Woman Views, right? Where she was like, oh, you know, if any of these black people defending Joe Rogan, they're all, you know, C words and they're sellouts and blah, blah, blah. But yet you have all these black men coming out defending Joe Rogan, right? She also said that any of these black men, if they bought Joe Rogan to the cookout, right? The cookout, that, you know, the house that, you know, where the cookout's being held in is owned by the white liberal, by the way, but they don't tell you that. But anyways, if they bought Joe Rogan to the cookout, that they would get beat up, right? So what you're telling me is that all these people, T-Pain, Charlemagne the God, this guy, Israel, the UFC star, oh yeah, they're all sellouts, right? All the black men defending Joe Rogan. Again, it just goes to show you, again, who is offended by this and who's not. It just goes to show you how out of touch some of these people are, right? And that a lot of these people aren't really offended. They're just trying to get money or virtue signal from this whole Joe Rogan controversy. That's all it is. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.